I've been wanting to talk to you guys for quite a while now. The reason why I have not gotten a chance to do that is that I've been busy with quite a few other things, and I do apologize that I wasn't able to come live before today, but that's how it is sometimes. Where when you have projects or when you have an actual mission that you're on, you have to still try to make yourself available even when you don't want to. So for example, I didn't plan on really going live today. I plan on doing it closer towards the weekend, but I had some time on my hands, so I said, you know what, let me make this live so I could talk to you guys about this issue that I've had for the last few days, and I hadn't got around to it because I went live and there was no sound. I had some sound problems, so I had to cancel that. But today's the day that I'm gonna make it work for you guys, and I'm happy for those who took the time out to click on this link. I'm happy for those who took the time out to watch this video. I must also take this opportunity and say thank you to all my current subscribers, the ones who subscribed recently, the ones who've been subscribed for years now, the ones who've been following the progress over the last, I'd say, maybe roughly 6 years since I've had this channel. But I have not been consistent with posting. I've not been consistent with making content because the intention was not necessarily making content for everyone, but more so just sharing different progress and different things that was happening. That's what it was. But I've found out recently that I want to keep you guys informed with what's going on internationally, and I also want to use the channel to help motivate other persons who might have their own talent and want to get it exposed. You know what I mean? So I'm now gonna start sharing more than before. So it's a learning process for me because I'm used to just doing things how I want to do it. I'm used to just making things how I want to make it. But now that I'm making it for you guys, I'm gonna tweak things up a little bit better so everyone can be comfortable with what they're seeing and what they're viewing. There's not much that will be changed as far as the information, because I've always generally provide information that's suitable for everyone. That won't be changing. Periodically, depends on what I get to share, I might have to either tweak it a little bit to let it be something that's okay for everyone, or I might not be able to share it if it's too derogatory or if it's too explicit. I try not to do things like that, or because I want to still make my channel most family friendly as possible. If you see stuff on there that you might consider to be a little bit out of your league or a little bit too strong, then of course, what can I do? You know what I mean? I'm still trying for everyone. Remember, it's not designated for a particular person or particular set of people, but I'm still wanting to make it be okay and know that everyone is comfortable to click on a video. Also, what I want to tell you guys is that I'm not here to sell something. This is not a channel where I'm selling anything. So everything is available on this channel. So you'll see family videos, you'll see videos of me maybe doing photography, you'll see videos of things happening in the social media part of it, you'll see stuff happening in the entertainment part of it, you'll also see stuff happening in major news. So the idea is everything is available on one channel. So for example, when you subscribe to this channel, don't think that you'll be annoyed with gossip, you'll be annoyed with a whole lot of trash and all that stuff. No, you'll be seeing, when I share a video, it's because I know that it's something I think everyone will want to see. When I share a video, it will be because I know that it's something that will have information that you need to know. You as a subscriber need to know what's going on in this area. You as a subscriber need to know what's going on in that zone, and that's why I'm sharing the message with you. So with that said, now that you guys kind of get an understanding, Give me a second while have you guys listen to this track a little bit more, and then I'll be right back with you.
Nothing says I care to your bestie, neighbor,
Okay,
or Ralph.
so now that you guys had a chance to get your head rocking a little bit, I hope I wanted to come back and update you guys on a few things. Now, this week I've had the opportunity to talk to a few artists that are doing well in the music business and doing exceptional, I'd say exceptionally great content as far as their songs, as far as their lyrics, as far as the people that they're trying to reach. The music are great. There's a lot more that I have spoken to before, and we should be lining up or should be looking towards doing an interview as well, but I just haven't gotten around to securing a time that will be done as yet. But whenever that's possible, you guys will know that it's going on. However, in the meantime, there's other things that's going on as far as in Jamaica, which is what we're talking about right now, that I wanted to talk on. One of the news that startled me this week was that I got some pictures first of some areas, or a particular area rather, that was being demolished. People were building houses on land for whatever reason was not permitted for construction, and they said that they didn't have the right approval from the city or from the parish council, as you would call it in Jamaica, which is what we would call city here. They didn't have the right permission to build on these properties. Okay, so let's talk about what the government said first, and then we can get into the situation of what the people said, and then maybe we could get into my thoughts on the whole scenario. So the government said that there shouldn't be houses building on properties that weren't allocated in the right manner. So if you see a piece of land, for example, and you just decide that you want to build a house on it, you shouldn't, because you're not authorized to do so. So then the people now who had these properties or had these houses on these properties decided that they wanted to build a home for themselves and their family, and this is where they decide on doing that. Okay, so one day the government said, you know what, we're going to take these houses down, and we don't need squatters, as they would call it, on these land. Okay, so now let's talk about my take on it from how I see it, or what I would think would be the best option. I saw recently a sign that was erected in Negril that said Negril in a variety of colors. Hey Julian, I see you. Bless up. I saw a sign that was recently erected in Negril that's called Negril is the name of the sign, and it was with a variety of colors, just similar or almost similar as to one that they have that's in Montego Bay that says Montego Bay, where the sign was posted before that says welcome to Montego Bay, and that was demolished by a car accident at one point. However, let's talk about the sign that was erected in Negril for a moment. From what I saw, and the message that I read said that that sign cost over $12 million to build. So if a sign costs $12 million to build, of how many letters, depending on whatever material you use to build that sign, and also the contractors that were hired to build that sign, whatever time it took to build that sign. Because for example, when you're paying for something, you're not just paying just because you're paying for the different areas to get the job done. You're paying for the time, you're paying for the material, and you're whatever. Okay, so it cost $12 million to build that sign. So now let's look into the idea that if you want a house legally, so you're working a 9 to 5 as a person living in Jamaica. Now we're gonna take this information as I get it, because I'm not living in Jamaica at the moment, so I can't really just say I know it all. I have to make sure that I'm looking to gather the information as we speak. So what I'm gonna try to look at is the population of Jamaica. All right, so this is not accurate because the last data show for the year was 2020, and we're now in 2022, almost finishing the year of 2022. So of course, you know that every information will not be totally accurate, but at least it can be as close enough as possible. Now, to the number that I'm looking at here, it says, and these information I'll be able to add after the live has ended. I'll be able to document it and have you guys see it for yourself. But Jamaica population as of 2020 was 2 million 2,961,000 people. So if you check an average number of 2,961,000 people in comparison to Puerto Rico, let's just look at some other islands at the same time. In comparison to Puerto Rico, which is of 3,194, and Trinidad and Tobago, which is 1,399,000. That's a lot of people, you know. But if we're gonna check the 2,961,000 here in Jamaica, let's do this. What we're gonna look at is we're gonna look at Jamaica's minimum wage salary. Okay, so in order, before you get to a situation, sometimes it's good to look at the problem from the other end, and then maybe you could see it a little different. So now we're going to look at the Jamaica's minimum wage. Jamaica's minimum wage as of March of 2022 should be between the amount, it's not a specific figure, it's an average, should be between $9,700 and $10,500 per week. So So that's estimated a rate for 175 Jamaican dollars to $225 per week. So picture trying to live in Jamaica as it is right now with a minimum wage of, even if we put it at the highest, of $10,500 a week. We're going to ask a few questions here. Question 1 would be, when you make $10,500 a week, we're not talking about the people who are making the top, because majority of Jamaica aren't making top dollars, honestly. I would say majority is making less than more. So we have to care for the persons first who can't really drive a car to work. We have to care for the persons who also take the bus to work, who also take a taxi to work, who also struggles most of the time to put food on the table. So again, let's talk a little bit on the numbers. So I'm trying to think, from $10,500 a week, how much do you think you have to use to get to and from work until you actually get a paycheck? If we had enough people on the live at the moment, you guys would be able to tell me how much or where the numbers go when it comes to that. But imagine working your very low salary already and then trying to build a house, and then putting up a 1-bedroom, a 2-bedroom, a 3-bedroom, after sacrificing to make it happen, to buy blocks, to buy steel, to buy sand, to buy stone, and then pay someone to do that work. And then after that job is done, someone who's in control comes over and say, hey, this should not be here, I'm gonna take it down. So my question would be, before you build a house, you have to start. You start by a foundation, or you start by cleaning up the property and then bringing in material and then digging the foundation, laying the steel, casting the foundation, building the blocks, casting the columns, casting the belting, and then you say you're ready for decking. One of those properties that I saw, the only thing that wasn't on it yet was a roof, but it came from the ground all the way up. One of those properties that I saw. I didn't see all of them. But what I'm trying to understand is that who was there to see these locations or these houses as they were being constructed prior to them reaching where they were to go and say, I'm going to tear this down? So why didn't someone come out and make a talk to these people and say, hey, you are building on a land that you should not be building on. You're trying to build on a land that is not available, and you should not be building on this property. Instead of waiting until the people build the house to completion, then you're going to tear it down. So here's the thing. The land was there and no one thought it would have been a problem. That's why they went and built. And it wasn't one person building a house over there. It wasn't 2 persons. It was quite a few people. So all these people was building on a land that they shouldn't have. And who came to them and tell them, don't do it? Where is the proof that that was done? Where is any form of documentation to show that someone came over there and talked to these people when they saw the space was being digged out, when they saw that the house was being constructed, and no one listened, so now we have to tear it down? So if you didn't do all that, the idea of you tearing it down is not correct. You know, that's not gonna be a solution to that problem. That's only making matters worse by doing that. Because in the beginning, the idea would be, once you see somebody doing something wrong, you try to correct them by coming in, bringing in the right law enforcement, bringing in the right people to say, hey, you know what, we need to address this problem. You guys shouldn't be here, and we have to figure out a solution. So, okay, if they shouldn't have been there, and now they are there, instead of tearing those properties down, the best thing in my solution would have been to talk to these people and see how we can get them to live there. These people weren't killing anybody. These people weren't doing anything of all manner of evil. They were just trying to secure somewhere to live. Just as important as water is to life, it is also important for people to live somewhere. And sometimes we make a decision to put people in front, to put people to lead, to put people to make decisions for us, because everyone can do it. Everyone can be a prime minister for a country. Everyone can be a minister of this and that. Everyone can be a police officer. Everyone can be a soldier. Everyone can be a doctor. Everyone can be a mortician. Everyone can do everything. These are reasons why we have different people doing different things. So if you make a decision to say, hey, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what I will be doing to represent the people, the idea is expected that you will be doing so. And the same way how if you hire someone to represent you, a lawyer, or let's talk about a lawyer for a second. If you hire a lawyer to represent you and he or she's not doing a good job, the idea is you should be able to change that person to get another one. I've seen that of Vibes Cartel. He changed his lawyer at one point where he wasn't feeling like he was getting the satisfaction that he deserved, and he hired another one. These are the things that normal people do, and it's okay. So in the same way, if we have someone who is there to represent us, to lead us, to be in control, to make decisions for us, we want to ensure that that person is also making the right decisions for everyone who's living in the country. And the sad thing that I think sometimes is that people will always try to say, if someone is in power, they look out for their people more than the opposite side. So for example, if you have a PNP personnel who is in charge of a certain area, he will look out for the people who have the same color as him, as far as whether in their household, as far as the votes that they make. And it shouldn't be like that. And it also works the same for the opposite side. Anyone who is in power should look out for the constituency, which is the entire area that you are in charge of. So if you're in charge of the entire country, look out for all the people. If you're in charge for a particular parish, look out for the people of that particular parish. And don't stick your nose into other zones that really don't concern you. So for example, trying to worry about the business of someone else's constituency and yours is not doing well. Give me 1 second. I think I'm getting messages here sometimes. So let me put this phone on silent for a second. There we go. So we should be okay now. All right. I wanted to make sure that when any messages or if someone tried to call, the phone does not try to block that out by making too many noises. So my apologies on that. All right. So back to the story. So now that we have people who are already being paid little and nothing, a small amount of money, trying to save the little bit that they have to live somewhere, if they go to get a loan, to my understanding, let me try to see if I can find it here. Jamaica NHT loan amount. Okay, I think I see it here. Let's see what it says. Okay, so the numbers were correct. If you try to get a loan from the government to purchase a home in Jamaica, it's being offered here that you can receive an amount of $6.5 million. Should we check what you can get in Jamaica for $6.5 million as far as a house? So we're gonna try to find a property for sale in Jamaica as we speak, and we're going on Realtor.com, which is a pretty known. Where should we go? Should we try? Let's try Montego Bay. I don't know if this is correct. I don't think that could be correct. Price low to high. I am 3.5. Okay, 4.8. 5 million. 6.5. Okay. So I am seeing properties here for 6.5 million. I see a house here that's in Rosemount. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 square feet. I don't know if I could see the condition of it. This is not a brand new house, of course. And from the looks of it, it's not somewhere that if you buy this house, you're looking to spend maybe about almost the same, if not more, to get it refurbished to a condition that you should be comfortable living in it. So at the end of the day, the government is offering you 6.5 million. There's maybe 1 or 2 inside pictures of the house. Oh, there's no inside pictures. It's only on the front porch. So for example, even though you're getting this house for 6.5 million, you have to have an additional 3 to 4 million to get it in a condition that you could live in. So even though the government said that they're offering you $6.5 million from NHT, you're not able to live in a house if you buy it for $6.5 million. So that means you'll need more. And what is the process to get a house through NHT? Why isn't there a solution to making home loans more easier and accessible to people who want to purchase a house? That's a very important question that needs to be asked. What are the processes as far as trying to get a house? What are the requirements? For a regular person who's doing, I wonder what you'd be offered if you're doing a minimum wage job and you try to buy a house. Would you even be approved? Because if you're so that means persons who are making even $15,000 a week, they can't live anywhere. If you're making $30,000, I don't know what it is. I'm just assuming numbers here. If you're making $30,000 a week, maybe you'd have to partner with someone also in order to get a house. So persons are trying to find solutions to their problems because, in a sense, they feel like they're not getting the assistance that they need from the government in order for them to live and be comfortable. I'll tell you something, because I make sure that I posted that the video is entitled about the properties that were demolished, the properties that were tore down, whatever you want to call it. But I also said that I wanted to talk a little bit about persons who might be living abroad and the challenges that they're facing, because persons in Jamaica might be facing challenges, but you have some persons in Jamaica that think that if you're living abroad, there is no challenge. It's just a comfortable life that everyone lives here, and that is so not true. I can speak on things that I've seen. I can speak also on past experiences. I can speak on also other challenges that persons that I've known personally are facing. And I would say that there's more persons who are having difficulties than not. And it's not just here in the United States, it's also in pretty much any country and every country, because life itself is challenging. There is no easy way in life. Most persons who try to take an easy route end up don't live a comfortable life. And it's sad that a lot of people would think that you do, but you really don't. And even when it looks easy from the outside, on the inside, it's not. On the other side, that people who are facing the problems a lot of times it's covered up. So for example, you see someone, they look all dressed up and look all nice on when they're on the street, but it doesn't mean that life is just like that for them. When you take a bus, if a bus brings or carrying 45 people or 35 people, every chair that's on that bus is a different butt sitting on it. Every seat that's in that bus, someone else is having it. And if you're in that seat, everyone has their own issue. Not because they're not coming to tell you their problems, doesn't mean they don't have any. So, I saw a video where, I've seen multiple videos, but I saw one recently where someone went to Western Union and was complaining about money that she had received from whether a family member or a friend had sent it from abroad. In Jamaica, usually when you get paid, because back in the days, it's only when I worked in the call center was when I know that people were being paid by the hour. But before then, you just have a day's salary. So for example, if you're working a day, you get X amount of dollars, you get lunch at whatever time, and that's it. But it wasn't being monitored to say how much your hourly was. But coming here in the United States, everything you do is on time. So for example, if someone says your shift starts at 9 and you get there at 10 o'clock, you don't get paid for the day because you were missing for an hour. Sometimes in Jamaica, you'd have that where you are supposed to turn up at work and you still were late and you still expect your salary because you'd say you worked the day. But I'm just giving you that as an idea that over here, everything is challenging. You have persons that live here and were born here and also are facing challenges. It's not because someone traveled from abroad and come to the country, life is all perfect for them. Because you have people, like I said, were born here and they're also facing challenges of all sorts of issues. At the end of the day, some persons that travel to this country, they have a mindset and a goal that they're trying to accomplish. And for that reason, they work even twice as hard than persons who were already born here and just consider life to be okay. So they're not worried about nothing. Also, if you come here and you're used to living a certain life when you lived in your home country, not necessarily Jamaica, because Jamaica is not the only country that people travel from to come to the US. You have people here from all walks of life. You have people here that speaks all sorts of languages, many. But at the end of the day, when they get here, the native language here is English. So sometimes some people, they don't transition. So you have persons who are here from a Latin country or a Latin culture, and they still speak Spanish, even up to 25 years. Person have traveled and lived here, and they still don't speak no English. When you come here from a country like Jamaica, Trinidad, or Guyana, or some of those other countries that are English-born speaking countries, Barbados, St. Vincent, all those places, sometimes it's a lot easier for you to transition because even though your dialect might be a little different, people can still understand you a lot easier. I was in a location today where I saw this young lady. She had a problem. She came in through the door and she had a bit of paper in her hand, and the person who she came to does not speak Spanish. And automatically the person is trying to tell her, I don't speak Spanish. And she's saying, when can I come back to talk to someone who speaks Spanish? And the person says, no one is going to be here that speaks Spanish. The most that you can do is bring someone with you that speak your language and also speak English so that we can translate to help to a solution to your problem. And the idea is, if you're coming in a country, if I'm leaving here and I'm going to go to Rome, I want to know what language they speak in Rome. Because when I get there, I want to know how I'm going to be able to move around, how I'm going to be able to communicate. You do have some people that just want to come here because they want to make a better life. They want to elevate themselves, and they don't care what the cost will be. And for them, what they'll still do is get here and try to make it happen no matter what. They'll get here and try to do it no matter what. They'll get here, and after they get here, they'll try to fix the solution of whatever their problem is, wherever they're from. And that's something for you to know. That's something for you to understand. A lot of people, I'll tell you what I've seen, because I can only talk about my experiences and the things that I've seen most of the time, or what I've read or watched in a movie. When you go to the embassy in Jamaica to get a visa, you'll see many people. I won't say, because I can give a specific number on how many people. I know it's due to COVID, it's a lot different now, but I can't tell you how many specific people would be at the embassy. But when you go to get your visa or a visa to travel here, you see how challenging it is just to get into the building and how much it costs. Everyone in that, right in that square that the embassy is, everyone is making a money. I'll tell you that. Everyone is making money. It's something to remember, because that experience was nothing I've ever experienced anywhere else, even though I've lived in Jamaica for so many years. I've never even had a thought that I wanted to travel. I've never had, I was never fussy about coming to the US. I'll tell you that. Because I had life in a way that I was comfortable with what I had. It wasn't everything, it wasn't perfect, but I was still comfortable with what I had. And anyway, so it happened on the day that I should go to the embassy, and my appointment date was due. My time was due. When I went to the give me a second, please. When I went there the day I left, or it's either I left or I didn't know that I should have passport pictures, I think. So when I went in the line and they asked for the documents, the paper, the time, and they said, okay, but you also need to provide your 2 recent passport photos. And I said, no, but I don't have any. The lady said, go across the street. There's someone across the street that will take the pictures for you. And I went across the street. There was the studio. The studio was just an open area with a backdrop. All you had to do was sit on this chair or a stool or whatever it was. It's almost like in the back of a what do you call that? I won't want to say a garage, but just in the back of a location. You know what I mean? But just to say that it was set up. And this was no joke. The pictures got printed right away. As soon as I take, in less than a minute, I had my, I think I got about four photos I got. The cost was not the normal cost, because this is express work we're talking here. But I was able to get what I needed right away. On my way back, I can't bring in cell phones into the facility, and certain stuff they don't allow. And they are people standing outside holding your cell phones. These are people you never met before in your life, and their job is to hold your cell phone for you until you go inside and do your interview and come back out. You get your cell phone in a little Ziploc bag. I tell you, I have goose pimples just remembering that. But just imagine, these are people who leave their house every day with an intention to know that they're going to help someone out that they've never met before in their life. And all they need is just that bread to go home and take care of their family when that is done. And you who go and do your interview don't know if you're going to get through or not, don't know if you're going to be denied or if you're going to be smiling after. Now you can go inside. After you get checked, you go inside. I'll tell you this, that there's 2 different sides as far as if you've never been to the embassy as yet, but there's 2 different sides. There's a side that if you're going in to get a citizenship, or not citizenship, but a green card travel doc. That's different from if you're getting a regular visa. So when you're going in for a regular visa, everyone is standing, it's all jumbled up over on that side. They call your name, you go up, you get asked questions. As long as you pass, they hold on to your passport, you get your stamp in it, it's ready. On the other side, you sit, go a line, a proper interview, they ask questions, boom, boom, boom. As long as you meet all the requirements, you get through and you're done. But I'm telling you, that's just the start. Even if you get a visa, even if you get admitted through the process of someone filing for you, everything is not done yet. when you travel and you get here to the United States, it's not a walk in the park. You have to try your best to either maintain a straight line. You also have to try your best to work hard to make life whatever you want out of it. No one's handing in anything to you. No one. So if you're in Jamaica and you feel like life is not good and it's not perfect, it isn't gonna be perfect anywhere you go. And if you leave Jamaica and you're in the United States and you're uncomfortable because you don't like the life of rules and regulation, or you don't like the life of living here in the US, and you go to the United Kingdom, it's not going to be the same as the US. It's going to be different. It's a different country. It's different rules, but it's still not going to be perfect. There's people over there who are, and let's not talk about the US for a second, there's people over in the United Kingdom that are also having challenges. That's been there from day one, still having challenges. There are people in Canada that are having challenges. There are people in Japan that are having challenges. Every country in this world, you will be faced with challenges anywhere you go. So at the end of the day, if you're in Jamaica, like I said, and someone send you $1, be grateful. If you're in Jamaica and someone mail you $1, be grateful. You have to also pay for a stamp to put on that envelope that's gonna get that dollar from the United States to your country. So if someone sends you through Western Union $50, be grateful. It doesn't take 5 minutes to get $50 in the United States. It does not. And if you think that, like they would say, somebody a chopper or somebody a hustle or somebody a do whatever, guess what? They're hustling now to give you that money, whether they give you 1,000 or 10,000, because now you say it's a chopper you're rolling with, right? They're giving you 10,000 because that's what they feel like they want to show you that they have the money. But one day come with problem might come and they need lawyer money. Are you going to be able to provide that to them if they don't have it saved? They are hustling to provide a life for you to be comfortable. And it doesn't mean that it's easy on them. So back to the idea of hustling or working when you get here in the United States. A lot of people think hustle means it's all activities. No. Hustle is the idea of you waking up in the morning to go to work. Hustle is the idea of you knowing you have your bills coming and you have to go find whatever solution needs to be met as far as to pay your bills and in order to make sure you live in a life and have a roof over your head. When your rent is due on the 1st, you can't tell your landlord that, hey, you know what, I didn't make any money this month, so I can't pay you no rent. You'll be living on the streets. You'll be living on the streets real quick. It doesn't take that long to be homeless in the United States. If you're living in a state like Florida, when you're in a homeless situation, you might be homeless, but when it gets cold, it won't be as bad as it will in New York. It won't be as bad as it will in Chicago. It won't be as bad as it will in Vermont. It won't be as bad as it is in North Dakota, Idaho, South Dakota. You have some states here that when it gets cold, it's no joke. Literally, no joke. I've walked on ice before. I know what it feels like. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I remember one day when I was in New York working construction, and my shift had ended, and we were inside, just sipping on, I want to remember what we were drinking. I think we might have been drinking tea. I never drank tea at work anywhere because I just go to work and then leave when I gotta leave. But doing construction, the person that I worked with would bring tea in the morning, and I started to get into the habit of drinking tea at various times of the day, because when it gets cold, the tea that you drink helps to make you feel a lot warmer. So when he's coming in the morning, he would stop by at whatever corner store and he'd pick a tea up for himself. He'd pick up one for me and he'd pick up one for the other guy that we work, because it was like 3 of us on the team for regular days, and some days it would be more persons. The other guy was from Guyana. He's also a Jamaican. The other person that I used to work for, he was Jamaican, and the other guy was from Guyana. So anyway, when we were finished up with work that evening, And I was there talking about how cold I am and how I feel, to go out now and head to my car and da da da. And the guy that was from Guyana said to me, Mario, shut up. He said, Mario, shut up. And I said, why the guy trying to tell me to shut up? I'm telling you, it's cold outside. You don't see it snowing, da da da. And the guy said, no, no, no. Your thing is, you only have to walk to your car. When you get to your car, your job is done. All you got to do is click that button, you turn the heat on, you get warm, right? I have to walk to the bus stop. So, with that talk, is to let you know that sometimes when you think your issue is a problem, it's really not much. Because everyone has an issue, just a different one. And that's the idea. Everyone has an issue, it's just a different one. There's a person who might reach out to you sometime and they'll tell you, send me some credit. Why don't you send me a top up on my phone, da da da. It's funny, when you get paid here in the US, your bills are organized around your paycheck. Some of them. So, when your bills are organized around your paycheck, I'm going to share this with you. When your bills are organized around your paycheck, it means that they are done automatically. So once that pay hit that bank, guess what? The rent comes out, the electricity bill comes out, whatever bill comes out, cable bill, phone bill, water bill, all them bills comes out. And how do you think you live? You have to live on what's left. If there's nothing left, it's not their fault. That's how it works. It's no game. And when the bill that didn't get to hit that paycheck because it's not organized around that paycheck, it has to wait on the other one. So that means not because you get paid and the paycheck is in the bank, the money is not yours. You have to leave it there until the bill get to take it cut out of it. That's how life is. That's how life is. And every day's work. Every day's work. You gotta work, and still more work. You don't do day off. You don't do chill time. There's people who would like to make a trip to wherever they want to go, but they can't. Because the idea is, if you take a vacation and time off from work, when you're not at work, who pays that bill? Who pays that bill for the time that you take off to go travel just because you want to see somewhere, you want to go chill? Things don't work like that. A lot of people the other day when COVID came out, it came over the news. I didn't say it. That a lot of people who were working six-figure job didn't have $2,000 in the bank. So a lot of people are really making good money, but they still don't have any savings. They're just living from paycheck to paycheck. Paycheck pays the bills, the next one come pay the other set of bills. That's how it works. So when I see someone make a post and they're gonna say, oh, people are living abroad and they're not sending me $200, they're not sending me $500, trust me, living in the US, no one give you $50. No one give you $100, nor $500. So for you to send that to anyone, trust me, that person better be grateful. And many a times they're still not grateful. Many a times they aren't grateful. You don't get a thank you from someone when you do a favor for them. You don't get a thank you from someone when you give them something. Instead, they complain that they didn't get enough. But with all that said, if you're the one that's not living abroad and you're the one that's living in Jamaica, maybe after this you'll start realizing how to be grateful of family members or friends who you have that try to reach out to you and help you sometimes. Maybe you're someone who you don't really ask for nothing. Maybe you're someone who will take it if you get it, and if you don't get it, you're okay because you try to be independent. Hats off to you, and that's okay. But if you're also one of the ones who are in the US or in any other country and you feel like you're unappreciated, don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. Someone will appreciate you one day. But in the meantime, don't pour your heart out for someone who really don't care. Don't you dare. Make sure you're taking the time out to remember yourself. Make sure you're taking the time out to know and love yourself and care for you more than anyone else, because you matter most. You really matters most. People these days only care for themselves. They don't really care for you. And no matter what you do for them, it's never enough. So at some point, you got to start doing for you. So make sure you're doing for you when you're living, and make sure you're doing for you. And don't go to bed be uncomfortable because you think like you owe someone an obligation. No, you don't. You only owe yourself. That's it. Again, I'm gonna see if I can give you guys another piece, another break, and then I get back to you in a second. Okay, so this is the final chapter, and then we're done for today. So now that you've traveled, and now that you've made a decision to leave your culture, leave your country, and try to seek a better life, I would hope. Try to develop yourself somewhat. Try to make a better life for you, your family, or whoever it is that you choose to want to help to be your motivator or the person who you're dragging up that ladder with, I hope. What's the next step? That's a question you have to ask yourself sometimes when you get a moment to be alone. And if you think that you've made a decision to elevate, and even though you've tried and continue to try, it feels like it's difficult and it's not working. Maybe you are not doing your actual talent. Sometimes what we try to do is that we try to do things because someone else says do this, but it's not really what we want. It's not really what motivates us, what drives us. If you're doing something and you don't love it, you'll never be comfortable. You know, you have to do things that you're passionate about. When you do something that you're passionate about, it doesn't feel like you're doing. It just becomes normal. That's what you have to do. Find something that motivates you. Find something that makes you feel like you are appreciated, even when you're not doing much of it, because you're just doing it out of the passion of your heart. Once you're doing it out of the passion of your heart, it's just so smooth. It's just so, like I said, it's stress-free, and you're not worried about it. Stop working for people who make you feel uncomfortable. Stop working for people who make you feel like you're unappreciated, you're not loved. And no matter what it is that you're doing, even if it's for the money, at some point you have to look at it and say, hey, you're better than this. And if you know you're better than this, get into what makes you feel better. Get into what makes you feel like you can smile. Smile sometime even on the inside. Smile sometime even when it feels like it's rough, because you know you're working your way into what you want to do, and what makes you happy. Stop being all swell up and all screwed face and all that stuff. That's only gonna drag you down. That's only gonna stress you out. Don't be stressed by yesterday. Don't be stressed by something that's already gone. Don't be stressed by something that you already passed through. There's a reason why. There's a reason why you walk beyond where you're coming from. There's a reason why you're not there. There's a reason why you are here instead of where you used to be. Don't walk around with that heavy burden on your shoulder. Because the moment you continue to let that wear you down is the moment you're deteriorating slowly. And that's definitely not good. It's not good for you. It's not good for your body. It's not good for your health. And it will not do anything but just let you withered away. If you know what that means. You see a tree that's not getting water, that's not getting flourished, that's not being nurtured, that's going to be you. And you don't want to be that tree that's not being nurtured. You can nurture yourself with positive feeling, positive energy, by surrounding yourself with positive people, not negative people, not negative energy. No to that. And yes to a better you. Yes to a better you. I believe you can do it. And I know you believe you can do it too. That's why you're here. That's why you've made it this far. And you have further to go. You have further to go. Trust me. Trust me. I love the fact that I try to surround myself with people who are positive. And when I keep doing that, when I keep moving around with my kids, we keep doing things together, we keep loving on each other, we keep growing on each other. My son is not too young to correct me. My daughter is not too young to correct me. Sometimes us as parents, we feel that we're too grown to listen. We feel like we're too grown to let someone else tell you, hey, you know what, maybe if you do it this way, it might be better. Ask sometime. It's okay to ask. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's okay to say you don't know. And once you keep doing that and you keep doing these things, you'll see. You'll feel a lot more freer when you let go of the things you're holding on to that's not right. The things you're holding on to that's not yours. And anyone who comes in your circle and shouldn't be there and they stepped out of it or they step out of it, that's okay too. It only makes you feel a lot more lighter. And you can be happy and happier. Alright? That's the message I had for you guys today. I really didn't want to drag it on this long. But I think we've done enough for one day. And now that we have a start, it's only more to come and better to come. Remember, that subscribe button, it's free. Hitting that button is free. But when you do that, it helps you to be able to see future stuff that are going to be shared. It helps you to be the first one to get notified. It helps you to not be at the back end when things happen. You know what I mean? And when you hit the subscribe button, why not hit the bell button too? Because when you do that, it keeps you informed, it keeps you in the loop. And remember, you do not want to miss what's coming, because there's a lot of things coming, and I don't like to always share and tell much. I prefer to just let you guys see. And I love everybody who's following me. I love everybody who watch my work. I love everybody who take the time out to see it. Because remember, you could have been doing anything with your time. You choose to be here. And that goes to show that you appreciate it. Alright? So nothing but love, peace, and until I see you guys again, bless up. This is me checking out. I'm out.